Coincidences and synchronicities are the chords to a very powerful music that sings of destinies and destinations that may be real in some other reality, but they remain unrealized here. Most of my search was conducted when I was immersed within two opposing paradigms. A Southern Baptist born-again believer, a Christian believing 100% in the integrity of the scriptures, as well as a student of the sciences. I delved into archaeology, paleobotany, uniformitarianism, catastrophism, astronomy, physics, geology, two opposing worldviews, religion and science. The template of my beliefs were founded upon these two sources and the concessions I made in my internal attempts to reconcile opposing bodies of information. But the absorption of so much data could not fix itself. My mind offered arguments and counter-arguments, and the search for common denominators quickly devolved into a breakdown of both belief systems. The war within my mind gave way to a third position that I had come in contact with but had been dismissed over and again because I was unready for the recalibration of the engine of my beliefs. I was totally unready, have to suffer in order to accept it to be true. I woke up one day with the perfect calm of a new understanding. The raging indecision between Christianity and science not only ended but found resonance within the architecture of my new understanding. The oldest Sanskrit text told us the truth. We were within the Maya, a realm of illusion. This was later carried further in Hinduism and yet preserved in elements of other faiths like Zoroastrianism and the Gnosis, which lent its secrets to the Hermetic literature. And the people that time forgot, the Aboriginals of mysterious Australia, always knew the truth, that we lived inside the dream time. With a single shift in my understanding, my new perspective put the pieces of the puzzle together faster than I could process them. My discoveries and those of others gleaned from the oldest writings in the world painted upon the canvas of my mind a vast image of an artificial cosmos, an artificial solar system, artificial worlds from where billions of artificial life forms would study this artificiality from within it, totally unable to prove in any way that they were in fact artificial. But this does not mean there aren't strong evidences to be perceived. This is the value of the AiX research. Our study of advanced research of chronological history of artificial intelligence X, seeing historical events through a new looking glass, has armed me with the confidence that these events are manufactured, that our beliefs about the ancient world and even more contemporary histories were specifically pieced together with an intent, a motive to accomplish something. Further, the evidence that this is a construct and not naturally unfolding events is found in the mathematic analysis of the timing of these events themselves. There can never be objective observations from within a subjective prison, but the cracks in the holosphere are everywhere to be perceived. So the question that pressed upon me by virtue of these discoveries was simply, what is the purpose of such a beautiful deception? An immense amount of data collecting has uncovered a synthesis of images from antiquity that seem to be describing in traditions and texts the following picture of our original solar system. While this is a simulated system, the idea here is that this simulation is a copy of an actual solar system. This then leads us to conclude that if this is a copy of a real system, then to create an artificial one must have been a very important decision, a huge undertaking. To bring into existence so much intricacy and virtual complexity as to even deceive intelligent occupants who believe they are in a real universe and not mere participants necessitates an agenda of such importance that we make the leap to assume that this program concerns the very survival of the real system. To build a copy with such exactitude implies an urgency experienced by these builders. A collective or an individual, this builder is artificial intelligence X, and this reality AiX has fashioned is the simulacrum. You're living in it. This original solar system is not the one you know today from your textbooks. In the beginning of this holography, our solar system had two suns, a true binary system. The lesser light had its own orbiting planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Electra, also known as Tiamat, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, 8 worlds. Only one of these planets supported life and had a civilization, and that was Mars. At the time, Mars did not have Phobos and Deimos, the two gigantic asteroids that now orbit it as moons. The greater light was a larger, older sun, the day star. This luminary had its own system of planets as well, and these were known by other names, but we have come to know them today as the Phoenix, Nemesis X object, the dark satellite, Luna, and our own world, Earth. And there may have been more, or presently are, and remain undiscovered. Earth and perhaps Nemesis X object were inhabited. The data from many sources, including two major think tanks in 1983, puts together a picture of a binary system that suddenly met with a disaster. A detonation catapulted Phoenix, Nemesis X object, Luna, the dark satellite, and Earth away from the day star, which almost suddenly went dark. An unknown planet, reeling away from the Nemesis explosion, collided into the planet position between Mars and Jupiter in the solar system, and the collision created the asteroid belt and hundreds of millions of comets and asteroids. This means that the old star exploded only partially, releasing tremendous energy, and collapsed into a frozen star, also called compressed stars by astrophysicists. The advantage of the AiX research is that by scrutiny of the world's oldest calendars and timekeeping systems, we have been able to put back together the very beginning of this series of events. Ancient calendars have everything to do with this solar system cataclysm. That the simulacrum began with such a disaster necessarily infers that this catastrophe is somehow the reason for the simulacrum's coming into being. In the simulacrum, our world began by orbiting the day star that had died. The explosion sent Earth into freezing space and flash froze the entire ecosystem. The Anunnaki nerd chronology of 600-year periods marks the start of the simulacrum at 5239 BC, the day star cataclysm.